Those who have been to a ruined wedding, what happened? A co-worker was at one of best friend's wedding. There were very specific rules about the food, no nuts. There were a couple people there, including the maid of honor, who were severely allergic. The venue served something that had nuts. Maid of honor went anaphylactic. EpiPen was not effective, and she died on the way to the hospital. Needless to say, there are lawsuits abound. Big wedding. Around 500 people. All the future wife's doing. She wanted the huge, $70,000 wedding. I was a groomsman. Pre-wedding, he's nervous as hell. All these people, has to be perfect, this is her dream wedding, yada yada. So, at some point the whiskey gets pulled out. It went from a calm the nerves few shots, to he's just about finished the bottle. We give him water, get him in the shower, and redressed. It's go time. Midway through her vows, he pukes all down the front of her dress. It was horrible, but it was great. They're going on 8 years strong. During the mixed-gender bachelor party, the bride-to-be got in a spat with the groom and slept with another guy. Wedding was off the next morning. They lost at least $10,000. He took her back a couple of months later. Introverts, how did you meet your girlfriend? She came over to me in a coffee shop while she was on vacation in my country, to ask how to tip. We had a 2-hour conversation, and then an amazing 5-hour lunch 2 days later. She complained about her hostel and I offered her my spare bedroom. She accepted. Nothing happened, although it seems crystal clear in retrospect that we were falling for each other. Duh. I didn't want to be douchey and make her feel uncomfortable under my roof, so putting the moves on her was not something I seriously considered. 2 nights later, I had to be gone for most of the night, on a work assignment, and I asked if she would please watch and walk my dog in my absence. I came home at 5 a.m. and was greeted by my suddenly very soft, very fluffy dog. She had somehow understood "will you please wash my dog," and apparently didn't find that a strange request at all. The next evening, after we'd been talking over a bottle of wine for hours, it seems she'd had enough of my apparent indecisiveness, took the wine glass out of my hand, put it down, and leaned in for a kiss. That was 26 years ago. We've been married 23 years. What's one thing your partner doesn't know? My wife thinks I always fall asleep next to her when we cuddle at night. We go to bed at different times, but I jump in for a few minutes to snuggle before she zonks out. I don't, I just fake it. But it makes her super happy, so every time, I pretend to drift off and she has to wake me, and it makes her laugh every time. This has been going on for 9 years. Whenever we get fast food to go, she enjoys eating the extra fries which have fallen out of their carriage and into the bag. I'm not really sure why she enjoys them so much, but whenever there aren't any, I drop a few down when grabbing my fries secretly and then give her the bag. It's been 8 years, haha. I always grab my fries last, and she's never noticed. My kid had made me a heart-type thing at school and wanted to give it to me. I told him it was great, but that I always get the stuff he makes from school. Instead, he should put my girlfriend's name on it because she'll love it. He gave it to her, and she melted. She's got it on the fridge and has been showing it off for 2 weeks to friends and family. She keeps saying stuff like "it was so nice he thought of me and he spelled my name right and he's so sweet" and on and on. It'll just be me and his secret. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done in that groggy, half asleep / half awake state? I once woke up, looked at the clock and thought, shit, I am late for work. The alarm didn't go off. I jumped into the shower and was showering as fast as I could when I glanced out the window, and it was dark out. It took me a while to process. I had fallen asleep in my bed after work, and it was now 7 p.m. and not 7 a.m. the next day. Wow, everyone here's done some extreme shit. When I was 13, I told my mom to shut the F up when she woke me up. We weren't one of those families where the kids tell their parents to F off. It didn't end well for me. Tried to open my front door with my car key after a 12-hour drive home. I don't mean trying to put the key in the lock, I was pressing the button and wondering why the door wouldn't open. As a kid, I apparently woke up, went into my kitchen at around 1 a.m. and pissed into our oven. Got woke up at 3 a.m. by hotel fire alarm. I'm not sure why, but I carried the ironing board out to the hall with me. Not clear what my role was. What's the biggest plot twist you've seen in real life? Told this before in another thread, but it's still hilarious to me. Guy I knew in high school English class was talking one winter day about how he was late to school because someone hit his mailbox. His folks made him fix it up before he went to school. He missed his ride and had to walk instead, but the school staff was cool about it and didn't punish him. A few minutes later, another girl comes into class and she's talking about how her morning sucked. She lost control going down a hill and hit someone's mailbox. She freaked out and drove off before anyone witnessed it and described a few details of the house. Mailbox guy puts two and two together and blurts out, "You hit my mailbox." He wasn't super mad about it and she turned beet red. It was hilarious at the time the way they both reacted. Roommate in college's story, he dated an identical twin in high school. He's walking down the hall and spots her. He jokingly goes up and grabs her in a big hug and grabs her booty. She pushed him off saying, "I'm not twin one, I'm twin two." He obviously feels bad and starts apologizing, but then she's like, "Just kidding, gotcha." And they kiss and she walks away. Plot twist, nope, it was twin two. They were pulling a switcheroo so she could cheat and take twin one's test for her. She ruined her cover right in front of the teacher, which is why she quickly said she was just kidding and even kissed him to prove it. His girlfriend thought it was pretty funny though. People who actually got married on an "if we're both still single when we're 35 we'll get married" deal. What's your story? Weird couple my wife knew had such a pact and followed through. Girl was a really introverted, quiet, homely type. Sweetest girl. But she never had a boyfriend as far as I knew. And we saw her off and on for 6 or 7 years. Then suddenly out of nowhere she invited us to her wedding. Anyways, it was to a guy we had met a couple of times who was one of her friends who seemed very much like her. My wife teased her that more must have been going on all that time. But she was straight up about it, and said no, they just decided it was time. Conversation was something like, "Yeah, you know how people have pacts to get married if neither of them are till they hit a certain age, well, we just decided it really wasn't going to happen for either of us, and to cut that short. Basically, we were just like, cool?" And then left it at that. Anyways, she married him, they looked happy. The speeches were a bit odd, they didn't really talk about love but a lot about how they were marrying their best friend. They are still together, it's gotta be at least 5 years, and they have a little kid. Last we saw them they looked happy and that's all that matters really. People who are/have been homeless, what was the first night without a home like, and how did you adapt to your new situation? I didn't really realize what was going on, I was about 6 to 7 at the time. Dad said we were going to go for a drive and to pack my backpack with all the clothes I could fit and one toy. Mom was just crying. Me and my brother sat in the back seat. He was a little older and was holding our Sega Genesis and looking scared. We drove for a little while, it was already getting dark, and we parked in front of a Walmart and Dad said he had to rest for a while. Was the first of many, many nights we slept in the car. I remember one of my parents was always awake, with their hand in their coat pocket. Looking back, it was obvious they had a weapon for protection, sleeping in shifts. Slept in my vehicle, couch surfed with a friend, squatted in an unused trailer, all while still working at a Walmart. Saved enough to get a crappy apartment and just kept going from there. It was terrifying and cold and hungry. I didn't sleep a wink. I adapted over time. Extremely deep learning curve to surviving homelessness. Nothing really prepares you for it. What is the most annoying thing a guest has done in your home? My late partner was very sick with leukemia. After over a year of being his 24/7 caregiver I got the opportunity to go abroad for a work trip. My partner insisted I go because I deserved a break from caregiving and that his deadbeat brother would fill in as caregiver while I was gone. While his brother was staying within our home, he brought his cat, which is a no-no for someone who living with zero immune system, did the absolute minimum to take care of my partner and left him basically to figure out meds/food on his own. And the final blow was he stole the big piggy bank that we were using to save for his bucket list vacation before he died. Then denied he did it. My aunt took a shit in the bathroom, a given, considering we were having a barbecue, but instead of throwing the used tissue in the toilet or even the bin, she put it inside the bathtub. I told my mom, who put her on blast in front of the whole fam. She doesn't come to the cookouts anymore. Came to my house, entered without permission, ate my Valentine's Day present, kicked my dog because she was looking weird at him, then deny everything, even though I had it on video, and say that it was the mailman. Those who've walked out on first dates, what was your "I'm out of here" moment? First date, we were at a Japanese restaurant. She asked me my star sign, I replied, Scorpio. She leaned over the table and slapped me clean and hard across the face. Naturally I was shocked and confused. I mouthed, "What?" She firmly says, "I never date Scorpios." I went to the bathroom, came back, she had gone, and paid for everything. Legitimately, when she said she needed to take a wee as we walked down a back alley to the next bar. She pulled her jeans down, took a poo-poo behind a bin, then searched in the bin and wiped with a sheet of newspaper. I was totally infatuated with her after working with her for a few months, and in 30 seconds it disappeared fast. I had to pick him up and he complained about everything. My car, the way I drove, my music taste. Why was I being so quiet while carefully plotting my escape plan? Definitely the moment he said my friends really want to meet you. I need them to know you're real. And that's when I bounced. I had a first date with a girl told me, actually I'm engaged but I'm not 100% sure if he's the right one. So I'm going to go out on a few dates to see if I change my mind.